Path of Exile 2 has been live for over a week. We've addressed some feedback already and are working on more fixes for key pain points in an upcoming patch. Okay. The full patch notes are coming soon, but check out some of more significant changes below. Gameplay features. Like we mentioned last week, we'll be adding the capacity to fast travel between checkpoints within an area. Yeah, that's kind of nice. And does that also? I'm gonna assume that means maps. That'd be cool if they added maps as well for it, not just the campaign part. I would assume. Um, as well as adding many more checkpoints to areas, generally at all entrances and exits to areas. Okay, meaning if you find these first, you'll be able to instantly travel to them to continue exploring. All right. We'll also be making passive point respecking cheaper, especially at higher levels. Yeah, thank goodness, because I respect last night, because I thought maybe my build wasn't like working the way I had intended it to. And I was like super tired, and then literally had like I don't know, over 200,000 gold, and I have no gold now. Um, I had because I had respec, thought my build wasn't working right. And then that build that I just made after respecing wasn't working right, or wasn't working the way I intended it to. Then I had to respec again and spent all my gold. Thank goodness. I hope they don't change the price of maps, especially like tier ones. If you just pick a bunch of those up and sell them, they're actually kind of good. They're kind of a good currency. You just want to sell tier one maps. So thank goodness for those. Let's see, where were we at again? Sorry. Passive point. Yeah, at higher levels. It had a relatively aggressive curve, getting more expensive with character level. Yes, it did. We have flattened that curve so it doesn't exponentially grow as much. I don't know how to pronounce that. This should generally result in approximately 40 through 50% less gold cost for respec in between the start and middle of in-game progression. All right. Okay, there's that, I guess. All right, Travel of Succumus. Players were finding Trial of Succumus particularly frustrating in close range, so we've reworked how honor damage scales when in close range. Oh, okay. So just run up on them, even if you're a wizard or a mage or whatever. Just run up on them and cast Fireball, and you'll be good. Okay, sounds good. As well as fixing an important bug that was causing players to take far too much honor damage from damage over time. Oh wow. All right, so we get the first point. Honor damage now scales down based on distance to enemies. Okay. When in close range, you'll take 35% less honor damage, tapering off as you are further away from monsters. So yeah, basically just run up on them, cast Fireball, and you're good. 100%. That's how it's going to be now. Fixed a bug where damage over time was dealing thrice. Did they mean just thrice? I never. Okay. As much damage to honor as intended, and fixed a bug where honor resistance was only applying to 2/3 of that damage. This was confusing for us too. Okay. Skitter golems no longer use basic attacks, and instead now just explode. All right. Serpent Clan's burrow and ambush attack now has improved visually, telegraphing, and cannot be used from as far away. Alright, that's good. Volcanoes created by Rattle Cage's Fissure Slam now last half a duration. This is the boss I'm thinking of when I first did it. Yeah, those volcanoes stayed around way too long. Like the whole map was covered. Like I'm playing, a non melee type character. Like I had minions. I'm a witch, and I was having trouble like trying to move around those damn things, dude. All right, let's move on to the next one. In game and monster balance. Generally, the balance in in-game maps was more punishing than intended, so we've toned down the damage in a number of ways and disabled a certain on-death effect where the telegraphing was not as clear as it should have been. All right. Maps no longer have additional elemental resistance penalties inherently applied at tier 6 and tier 11 on or higher maps. It is now consistent across all the in-game. So does that mean they just maps no longer have additional elemental resistance inherently applied at tier 6? Oh, okay. So I guess you're just like either it's not there anymore or it is there. It just doesn't scale up anymore. It's just you get to end game and you just don't have the elemental resistance going down. I would assume. But either way, I guess that's good. Chaos damage now also scales less aggressively over the end game. Yeah, that chaos damage was something else. Holy shit. Critical strikes from monsters now deal 40% less bonus damage. All right. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully I don't get one shot as much. Lowered the baseline monster density of breach encounters primarily by reducing the frequency of the elite monsters appearing. It wasn't even the elites, man. It was just there was that many little mobs. Like as soon as you popped that thing, man, they were just on you, dude. Like I literally couldn't do anything. My frame rates were dropping so bad. I am on an Xbox Series S, by the way, so I mean, it's gonna happen, I guess. But like all I could do was run around and roll, like roll. That's all I hit was like the B button and like left on the D pad, like my flash. That's all I'd be hitting the whole time while that whole thing lasted. Um, I could even stay with my minions because I can't stay in one spot when they're like, you know, on you like that. Like they I don't know, acting like they ain't seen a woman in years or something. Uh, okay, and then disable the volatile crystals modifier. We'll revisit this in the future pending telegraphing improvements. Yes. That one was annoying as shit. That was not a good one. Purple explosives created by the volatile plants modifier on rare monsters now deal significantly less damage. Yes, because they do a lot of damage, and you got like 3 or 4 coming at you, floating around like a little, Casper the Ghost, and it's like, whoo, and it hit you, and it'd be like, gotcha, bitch. And it was not good. The Siphon's flash charges modifier on monsters now drain 10 times less flash charges per second. This was unintentionally draining way too many charges. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was just gobbling that shit up, man. It was just getting it. It was bad. These changes should generally result in an end game that is much more survivable than before, and we will continue to address problematic cases as they arise. All right. All right, so character and item balance. We've made charm modifiers on belts substantially more common and now appear at much lower levels. The of symbolism modifier now appears from level 23 onwards, and the of inscription modifier now appears from level 64 onwards. I don't know what any of that is. Does that mean we get more charm slots? I don't know. Electrocute is now 25% harder to build up, but the damage penalty has been removed from the support gem. Okay, never used lightning. Added a new lightning damage and electrocute cluster to the passive tree in between the ranger and monk sections. Alright. It is now more difficult to chain freeze enemies by reducing the amount of freeze buildup applied after a freeze has been applied. Alright. The Hunter's Talisman, now notable, now grants +1 charm slot. Hunter's Talisman, notable, now grants +1. Oh, so wait, does that also mean you could get like 3 charm, like get a maximum like 3 charm slots and then grab that one and you get like a 4? because that'd be kind of cool. The small passive skills leading up to it now grant these stats it formerly gave. Alright. The charm helper text has been updated to indicate that you cannot have more than 3 charm slots unlocked. Oh man, okay. So that we can add more sources of it in the future. Okay. Alright, that makes sense, I guess. Skill and support gym balance. Alright. Since launch, we've unfortunately had to nerf a few skills that were far too overpowered. Yeah, people doing some crazy stuff. How do we define overpowered? Basically, it's a situation in which a certain skill is so powerful that players feel no other method of playing the game is viable. All right, then. Generally speaking, we are trying to do this in a way that doesn't make a build bad, but we can make mistakes. Ideally, any truly meta shifting changes will only happen at the same time as a content patch with a new league to play in. Okay. But that doesn't mean we haven't been looking at overpowered skills and support gems. We've got a number of changes planned which should improve some of these skills. The full list of changes will be in the patch notes, but here is an example of what you can expect. Improvements to Rolling Slam and all shield skills in the mace section. Okay. Improvements to various bow skills, especially the skills used to generate frenzy charges. Alright. Improvements to bone spells and chaos damage over time spells in the occult section. No, this is not good. Where's my minions at? Improvements to various crossbow skills, especially those at higher tiers. Improvements to some of the underachieving quarterstaff abilities. I haven't used a quarterstaff yet. Alongside all of these skill gem improvements, we've also done a pass over the support gem. Hold on. Alongside all these skill gem improvements, we've also done a pass over the support gems. Okay. We've added 2 new supports and removed or lessened the penalties on many others. Notably the fire, lightning, and cold exposure supports. Alright. Added the Tremors support gem, which can be used to give up to multiple more aftershocks to skills with a damage penalty. Alright. Added a bidding support gem, which can be used to give more damage to the command skills of supported gems. Nice. Okay. Okay, I could see that being like frost mages. Probably help a little bit with frost mages a bit. I'm not sure if it would work necessarily on the Reavers. But the Frost Mage part does sound kind of sick, though. Huh. Alright. Let's see how it goes. The Fire Exposure, Lightning Exposure, and Cold Exposure support gems no longer penalize damage of supported skills. They now have a mana cost multiplier of 120%. Oh my goodness. Oh, is it? Probably just reading that wrong. There are some notable nerfs to a few of the remaining overachieving skills. Skeletal Arsonist Spirits costs now match the other 2 Skeletal Mages. This should result in a slight decrease in the number of Arsonists at a higher level. What? So now they're going to cost like 40, 41 or whatever? Man, that's a bummer, dude. Oh well. A nerf to the damage over time component on a very high levels of Tornado and Vine Arrow. These were never intended to be dealing damage themselves, but more so act as a way for other skills to procreate damage. Okay. Magnetic Salvo can now only use your struck lightning arrows as opposed to those created by your party members. All right. As we wind down for the holiday season, we wanted to thank you all for our most successful launch so far. We could have not done it without all your support. A lot of our team will begin to take some much needed rest over the next few weeks, but we look forward to getting back in the year refreshed and ready for an exciting year of development in 2025. Happy holidays, Exiles. All right, let's get it, baby. Now, I sound pretty good. They got the nerfing the in-game stuff that was like kind of just a little too much. Like I'm not that far into in-game. Um, I'm in like tier 4, tier 5 maps. And I'm really struggling with those. Like pretty bad. I was struggling initially with like tier 1s. And I have yet to like really get any gear that's better than what I have on, even though what I have on is still bad. Like it is just trash gear. I have yet to get anything better than it. I've been crafting. I've been trying to pick up loot. Um, anything to make it better, and I haven't got anything. But I picked up a ton of like rattling scepters to try and get better rolls on that. Because what I currently have isn't really the best. The only thing that's really good on it is the I think it has like extra spirit, but it has like allies in your presence do like 46% more damage. That's like the it's got that's right. It's got like a +2 or whatever to minion levels. That's what it's got on it. But hopefully this helps out and it makes it a little easier to kind of get into the very beginning of the end game. Because obviously with my build right now, I'm not going to make it to like the tier 16 maps. That just ain't going to happen. But I'm fine with working my way up and getting up there and everything like that. I'm completely fine with that. But I was having a hard time starting off. And I'm actually wearing gear still from the campaign, if that says anything. But overall, the patch notes sound pretty good. They sound pretty good. I'm curious to see what the game will look like in the next, 3 or 4 months from now. We're only like week 2 into release or whatever. So, yep, that's it. That is the patch notes, y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed it.